My mother's love. My name is Tom, and this is the real story of my life. Last night, I was alone in my room, gazing at an old photo on the wall. It showed my mom and me. I was just a little kid in the picture, and my mom had a wide, joyful grin. I looked happy too. I shut my eyes and let memories of her flood in. Some were beautiful, others were painful. My heart felt warm, but a quiet sadness lingered too. When I was young, my mom did everything for me. She made my meals, cleaned my clothes, helped with my schoolwork, and walked me to school. When I was sick, she stayed by my side. She worked tirelessly every day, but I didn't notice her love back then. I rarely said thank you. I thought she'd always be there, that her role was to care for me. I was mistaken. One evening, I got home late. My mom was waiting, her face full of worry. "Where were you?" she asked. "Hanging out with friends," I replied. She said, "Let me know next time." I snapped, frustrated. "Stop questioning me. I'm not a kid anymore." I saw her expression shift. She looked wounded but didn't raise her voice. She just said, "All right." That night, she still cooked dinner for me. She still kissed me goodnight. Her love never wavered. I recall failing an important test once. I dreaded going home, expecting her to be mad. But she didn't yell. She sat beside me and said, "It's okay, Tom. You'll do better next time." She smiled and hugged me. Her hugs were comforting, like a safe haven. I didn't say it then, but I want to say it now. She gave me strength. She made me feel cherished. Sometimes, I spoke harshly to her. I said she didn't get me, that she didn't care. That wasn't true. She always cared. She stayed up late when I had troubles, listened when I needed to talk, cried when I was hurting, and laughed when I was joyful. Her heart overflowed with love, but I was too young to see it. Once, I wanted to run away from home. I thought I could live on my own, that I didn't need anyone. I packed a bag and headed for the door. My mom was standing there. She didn't block my way. She just said, "Take a coat, it might get chilly." Those simple words hit me hard. I saw the love in her eyes. She let me make my choice, trusting me. That trust pulled me back home. I think about the day she fell ill. She had a fever and was exhausted, but she still got up to make breakfast. I told her to rest, but she said, "Moms don't take breaks." I didn't grasp for words then, but I do now. A mother's heart never stops. Even when her body is weary or in pain, her love is unstoppable. Now that I'm older, I see it all clearly. I see her strength, her kindness, her sacrifices. I wish I could go back and apologize. I wish I could thank her. But time doesn't work that way. So now, I strive to be better. I try to love her the way she loved me. I speak kinder words. I help her more. I know I made mistakes and hurt her sometimes, but she never stopped loving me. She never turned her back on me. Her heart was vast. Her arms were always open. Her smile was always mine. When I look at that old photo now, I feel her love in every memory. I tell myself I'm blessed to have a mom like her. Every day, I try to emulate her. I aim to be strong, kind, and selfless, because that's what she showed me, not through words, but through actions, quiet care, and boundless love. One morning, I overslept and missed the school bus. I was scared to tell my mom, but when I entered the kitchen, she was smiling. "No problem," she said. "I'll drive you." I expected her to be upset, but she wasn't. She took me to school in her beat-up car, telling me a funny story on the way. We both laughed, and that moment has stayed with me for years. When I was 9, I broke a glass in the kitchen. I thought she'd be furious, so I tried to hide it. She saw the shards and asked, "Did you do this?" I lied and said, "No." She looked at me silently. Later, I confessed. She smiled and said, "Thank you for being honest." She didn't scold me. She taught me integrity with love. In high school, I wanted to seem cool. One day, my mom came to school with my lunch. I saw her from a distance and turned away, not wanting my friends to see me with her. That evening, she didn't mention it. She just asked, Did you eat? I said. Yeah. She smiled and went to bed. Her love was quiet but profound. When I landed my first job, I was thrilled. I used my first paycheck to buy her a small gift. She looked at it and said, "You didn't have to get me anything." But her eyes were teary. She hugged me tightly. That hug felt special, full of pride and love. For the first time, I felt like I gave something back to her. That moment meant everything to us. Sometimes I'd see her sitting alone in the living room, looking at old photos or sipping tea in silence. I never asked what was on her mind. I was caught up in my own world. Now I wonder, did she miss her family? Was she lonely? She always smiled, but maybe she was weary. Maybe she needed someone to ask, "Are you okay?" I wish I'd asked more. I wish I'd listened more. Now, when I visit, I see her graying hair and slower hands, but her heart hasn't changed. She still waits for me at the door, cooks my favorite dishes, and asks, "Did you sleep okay?" I'm trying to do better now. I sit with her, listen to her stories, hold her hand. I understand now that a mother's love is eternal, and I want to return it while I can. I remember my school days vividly. After dinner, I often struggled with homework. My mom sat with me, even when she was exhausted. Sometimes she didn't know the answers, but she never gave up. She'd ask friends or flip through old books to help me learn. Once, I begged for a colorful, musical toy I saw in a store. My mom said we couldn't afford it that month. I was mad and ignored her for days. A few nights later, she gave me the toy. I was overjoyed but didn't realize how hard she worked to buy it. One day, I came home from school after a fight, my shirt dirty and a bruise on my arm. I thought she'd yell, but she took my hand and asked, "Are you okay, Tom?" She listened and gave gentle advice. "Be strong, but don't harm others." Every evening, she made dinner and waited for me. Sometimes I was late, but she never ate without me. "I want us to eat as a family," she said. I didn't get it then, but now I see it was her way of showing love. She never bought herself new clothes, even in winter. Her shoes were worn, her coat tattered. But I always had warm jackets and clean shoes. When I asked why she didn't buy anything for herself, she smiled and said, "You need it more." She loved her little garden, tending to flowers and plants every morning. She smiled when they thrived. I never helped, thinking gardens were dull. Now I grow flowers too, and I think of her hands in the dirt. When I was sick, she stayed up all night, touching my forehead, giving me soup, speaking softly. I didn't see her worry or exhaustion then. She just said, "You'll be fine soon." Now I understand her quiet strength. Sometimes, she sang while cleaning or cooking, soft, sweet songs from her childhood. I didn't pay attention then, but now her voice echoes in my memory, warm and soothing. I remember mornings when she was up before everyone, making breakfast. The smell of toast and tea filled the house. She moved quietly so we could sleep longer. I never thanked her for those mornings. I just ate and ran to school. Now I miss those quiet, loving moments. On rainy days, when I forgot my umbrella, she'd be at the school gate, holding one. Her clothes were soaked, but she smiled. I used to feel embarrassed. I never told her how much it meant. Her love was there, rain or shine. At night, while I watched TV, she washed dishes, folded laundry, swept the floor. I never offered to help, thinking it was her job. Now I feel guilty. She never rested, never complained. Her love was in every task. When I got a bad math grade, I hid the paper. She saw it and said, "It's all right. We'll work on it." She didn't scold me. She sat with me every night, helping me believe I could improve. Her patience shaped me more than any teacher. She never took vacations or bought things for herself. When I asked why, she'd say, "Maybe next year." But that year never came. She gave her time and money to us. I didn't see it then, but now I know she sacrificed her dreams for us. One winter, I had a fever for days. She stayed by my side, barely eating or sleeping. I woke to see her tired face, but she smiled. That smile gave me courage. On my birthdays, she baked a simple cake with love. I didn't care much then, I wanted toys. But now, I recalled the taste of her cake, sweet and full of care. Sometimes, she'd sit by the window, staring outside. I never asked what she was thinking. I was too busy. Now I wish I'd asked about her dreams, her stories. She gave all her time to us, keeping her own thoughts quiet. When I left for college, she packed my bag carefully, warm clothes, snacks, and a note. "Tom, take care. I believe in you." I was eager to leave, but now I know how hard that goodbye was for her. She smiled, hiding her pain. In college, I rarely called. She waited by the phone every evening. When she called, I'd say, "I'm busy." She'd reply, "I just wanted to hear your voice." Now I understand how much those brief calls meant to her. When I came home for holidays, she cooked my favorite meals, cleaned my room, asked about my life. I gave short answers. "It's fine." I didn't see her worry. I wish I'd shared more. She wanted to know me, not to control, but to care. She prayed every night, sometimes whispering my name. I teased her once, saying, "You worry too much." She smiled and said, "A mom never stops." Now I get it. Her love followed me silently. One evening, I saw her holding a baby photo of me, her eyes full of memories. I thought it was silly and walked away. Now I do the same, looking at old photos, feeling her love and pain. After college, I moved to another city for work. I called her sometimes, but not enough. She always answered happily, never mentioning her own struggles. "I'm happy if you're happy," she'd say. I regret not asking how she was. Once, I forgot her birthday, caught up in work and friends. She called me, and I didn't even realize. She didn't mention it, just asked, "How was your day?" Later, I learned she waited for my call all day. I cried, knowing her love was always there, asking for nothing. Every time I left home, she waved from the gate until I was out of sight. I'd smile and forget it quickly. Now that image, her loving eyes, her waving hand, lives in my heart. She didn't hold me back, she just wanted me to know I was loved. Now, I sit alone, remembering her smile, her tired but kind face. I think of the times I ignored her, chose friends over her, or spoke unkindly. Yet her love never faltered. She never gave up on me. Her love endured my mistakes. I wish I'd seen her heart more clearly when I was young. Sometimes, I dream of walking into the kitchen, seeing her in her old apron, making tea, humming softly. I'd sit and watch her, feeling peace. I'd say thank you, not for one thing, but for everything: the meals, the care, the sleepless nights, the days she sacrificed her rest. I see now that her life was full of giving. She gave me her time, energy, dreams, asking nothing in return. She didn't want gifts or praise, just my happiness and strength. I used to think love was grand gestures or special occasions. But her love was in the small things: warm meals, clean clothes, quiet waiting. I never asked about her youth, her dreams, her joys. I was too wrapped up in my life. Now I wish I could hear her stories. As I age, I understand her better. I see her in how I care for others, hear her words when I talk to kids. Her patience is my aim, her kindness my guide. I try to live in a way that honors her, carrying her love in all I do. She may not be close, but her spirit is with me. On tough days, I recall her gentle, strong voice, her touch, her smile. They make the world feel right again. Her love was quiet but the most powerful thing I've known. It shaped who I am. So, to every son and daughter, I say, look at your mom, listen to her, help her, talk to her. Don't wait to understand her love. Say thank you now. Give her your time, care, and respect. Because one day, like me, you'll look back and see that everything she did was from deep, endless love. This is a great way to practice English daily. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, English Listening Stories 247 with Alicia, for more stories.